Hello students, welcome. With the continuation of the module 1, we are going to discuss about the concept of chain grade stoker. So here in this figure we are seeing that there are a chain having endless chain which forms the support of the fuel bed, and this chain is made up of cast iron link and is connected by the pins. So this chain is what happened, it is held over the two sprockets. I have seen this figure, okay, and it travels from one end to the furnace and to the other end. The sprockets at the front end is driven by an electric motor, and the coal is fed at the front end through the air hopper, which is carried by the chain to the other end. Hence, into the furnace, the air is necessary for the combustion of the fuel is supplied through the air inlets below the traveling grate. So in this section you can see that the coal is going to drop through the hoppers, and through this chain it is going to be taken and it will be passed in this section. So what happened, so the continuation of the movement of the chain, it will be taking the coals from the hopper, and it is a continuous supply through the hopper, okay. So this combustion of the fuel is supplied through the air inlets below the traveling grate. The secondary air is supplied through the openings at the top of the roof as shown in the figure. So the rate of the fuel supplied to the grate, hence the heat to the boiler can be controlled by two means. First one is it controls the depth of the coal bed on the grate by controlling the feed into the hopper, and second method is the speed of the chain grid can be adjusted to meet the boiler operation requirements. So the both requirements or the controlling means the chain grade stoker are widely used for the burning operation for non-caking. Okay, so means non-caking means it is in the form of solid mass while burning. So free burning, volatile and high ash content coals. So advantage of this type of stoker is it is very simple in construction and operation, and it is initial and maintenance cost is very low, and it is not heavy ash, okay. It not produce any such ash, and the combustion control is simple, and by controlling the feed or chain speed along with the air supply, and its combustion efficiency is expected high. So another, what is the disadvantage of this is it is not suitable for all capacitor plants. It depends upon the capacity of the plant. So we are going to use this stoker. So it is suitable for the small capacity like 10 megawatts, like that, 5 megawatts, 10 megawatts. Okay. The coal losses are high as the unburnt coal may also be with ash. So the caking of the coal is used, ash clinker problems may rise. Okay, and this traveling grate stoker chain grate is replaced by the grate bars and support the burning fuel. And also it grades the incline towards the inlet and the furnace, and the fuel movement is accomplished and controlled by vibration of the grate. So this is how the chain grate is going to be working. And further, next one we are going to discuss about spreader or sprinkler stroker. Okay, so this is a sprinkler stroker, also we call it as spreader stroker. Okay, the schematic diagram is shows the spreader stroker, and this type of stroker, the coal from the hopper is fed to the rotating feeder, which in turn feeds the spreader or sprinkler. Sprinkler means it spits, means spreads, okay, to the furnace. The whatever the coal will be there, that is going to be sprinkle, means it is crushed and sprinkle over a furnace. So then it feed according to the requirement, and feeder is rotating drum fitted with the blades on its periphery. So other type of feeders such as exploding drums, endless belts and spiral bombs can be used. The feeder continuously supplies the coal on the spreader, the fast moving drum with the blades, which in turn distribute to feed the coal on the grate in the figure as shown in the figure. So the fuel feed rate and supply to the boiler can be controlled by controlling the feed to the hopper by controlling the spreader speed. So here in this case we can control the speed also, okay, by regulating the speed, so that it is one of the very best options for controlling the speed. So based on the requirement, we are going to increase or decrease the speed of the spreader. Okay, so advantage of this one is it is an operation is very simple and economical, and it is variety of low quality of coals can also be burned successfully. So preheated air can be used for improving efficiency of the operations, and the fuel can rapidly, and hence its cake tendency is very low. So even with the use of this caking coal also, we are going to be take the for burning of the fuel. So it can be respond quickly to the load variations. Okay, these are the all advantages, and disadvantages. It's not possible for burn varying size. As I already told, the coal is not at all uniform size, so it is having different size and shapes. So it is only can be crushed and sized coal can be used, and part of this charge is burnt into the suspension, and hence fly ash is discharged with the flue gases. So unburnt carbon particles may escape through the flues, and it reduces the combustion efficiency. So one of the disadvantages is that due to the fly ash is discharged, so some flue gases, it will be escaped through the flue gas and reduce the combustion efficiency, and some emission may occur because the coal is not going to be burned completely. So hence it is creates or forms a flue gases. Okay, so next one is we are going to discuss about retard stroker. Already I told there are two types of retard strokers, and one is a simple or single retard stroker and multi retard stroker. Now we are going to discuss about what is mean by single retard stroker. So first of all, we understand, so what is the principle of construction of a single retard stroker as shown in the figure. So the fuel is going to be furnace on a retard. The fuel is fed through the hopper and pushed on the retard by piston ram movement. Okay, so once the movement is taken place with the feeding from the bottom, it gradually the burning coat rises up. So above the green coal, the incandescent coke layer is formed, and above which the ash layer is going to be formed. So with this continuous of feeding green coal, the ash level rises that removed by the ash wrecker. So this is how single retard stroker works. And similarly for the multi retard, so instead of one retard, there are multiple, more than 2 or 3 retards are used at different levels. So it contains around more than 3, around 5 to 20 also, depending upon the capacity of the plant or how the coal is going to be stroked. So it contains a series of retards of 5 to 20 with tears and pushers. It also consists of a fuel that hopper can coal pushers at the hopper, and this coal fed through this hopper pushed by the main pusher driven by the ram, and the distribution of pushers in the retard push the coal and distributed all the retards, and the movement of this fuel bed by pushers helps minimizing the clinker formation. The primary air enters into the wind box below the retard, and it flows through the retards. An air damper is provided at the air inlet in the wind box to control the airflow to the furnace. So you can see this pressurized air we are going to be taken into this entry. Okay, so again it will be controlling will be there, the flow control. This flow through the retards, the air damper is provided at the air inlet, and the wind box is controlled at the airflow to the furnace. So this airflow, the extension grade and its entry to the further control by the another damper, and since the extension grate requires a small quantity of the air with less fuel burning on it, the ash formed from all the retort falls into the ash pit. Okay, so remaining the ash is going to, whatever the ash is formed, that it will be falls into the ash pit through the retorts. So advantage of this retort stroker is combustion rate is high. Such stroker is more suitable for the high capacity power plants, and the combustion efficiency also increases. Because as it is combustion rate is high, so we can expect more efficiency by the combustion. The stroker also perform in a very high manner, and also the fuel is pushed off by the pushers and they perform the cleaning action as well. Okay, the automatic combustion control can be adopted in this stroker, and this stroker also responds a quickly variation in demand. So let us see what are the disadvantages. It is very expensive in operation as well as maintenance, and it is investment is very high, and ash clinker problems may also sometimes arises, and it needs a larger area for the installation and operation, because as the number of retorts are more, it consumes more space and it is somewhat complex, and the low grade high ash fuels cannot be burned successfully. So these are all about multi-retort stoker. So I hope you understand this concept. So in the next video, further concept we are going to discuss. Thanks for watching this video.